Hi and welcome back. Today we will visit the last planet that we have omitted so far, and it's said to host a monster. Phaidros, or Bright, is a small planet with a diameter of less than 7,000 kilometers. The planet was named after a bright glow which is caused by a combination of the reflective sandy surface and the planet's close proximity to J.U.L.I.A. The position and the celestial body composition rule out the presence of any kind of complex life forms as we know them. One day on Phaedras lasts 10.3 Earth hours. A research station sits on the sand dune, silently watching the surroundings. It is one of those places where time seems to stand still. One would wonder if even another 100 years would change the station. While the entrance doesn't look especially inviting, there is some discomforting presence that urges you to take shelter. It's as if the dunes emitted a deep and sinister sound.
Just what happened here?
Observation. It looks like the station has been badly damaged.
Yeah, right. By sand. Sure, someone threw sand at it. Mobot, do you think that the damage was done by sand movement?
I don't think so. Based upon the heavy deformation, it looks as if something big and heavy repeatedly pounded at the station shell.
Weird. Do you think anything could live here?
My sensors don't detect anything right now.
Keep your sensors peeled.
What could that have been?
Nature has reclaimed what we brought here.
It did, but that still does not explain why the platform has been thrown so far away from the station. Damage this severe and extensive doesn't make any sense from what we know about this planet. How did this happen?
Of course we have an idea of who caused this, but it's kinda odd because they just said that nothing could live on this planet.
I wonder if this sand is similar to ours. Could you please take a sample, Mobot?
Affirmative.
The station looks pretty battered. How could that happen in this desert?
I can see that the damage was done by repeated physical impacts into the station shield. Cause unknown.
We should definitely find out the cause.
While I respect your opinion, I personally hope we won't find out the cause.
I don't want to end up in such condition myself.
I regret to inform you the door is closed.
It looks mechanically damaged, too.
Let's try to restore the power. Maybe then we can figure out a way to get inside.
Commentary. This part has fallen down due to mechanical damage of the station shell.
It appears as if something must have been attacking the station.
Mobot, what's that weird thing on the cable?
I am unable to answer. Should I obtain a sample?
Please do.
I should really keep on examining things right when I find them. That's the sample from the ice cave. The well-preserved remains of a human male, probably in his 30s. Cause of death: fall from an extremely high place resulting in injuries not compatible with life. The DNA analysis matches Ian Darlington, which makes sense. The composition of the sand sample is similar to silicon dioxide quartz. However, some of the minerals are unknown and should be subjected to further studies. and a mysterious organic substance. Looks a bit like motor oil. The substance is highly corrosive. The internal composition is so complicated that further analysis with current technology is impossible.
What's that thing stuck in the sand?
It looks like a metal bar.
Given the state of this station, it might prove useful.
As you wish.
These must be used to power the station from the solar panels.
Observation. Currently, there is nothing plugged in. Let me plug in the cable.
And nothing. What are we missing?
We can know this from Xenophone.
Let's hope the panels are still in operation.
Observation. The panels are correctly positioned. If they still work, there's no need to calibrate them.
We've got power.
Look at this. A backup air generating unit.
I am not sure what to do with these containers right now.
Let's leave them here for the time being.
I am not going to get my circuit squished by this door.
How about that metal bar we found behind the station? This should do the trick. I wonder what happened in here. Could this be an explosion?
I don't think so. It looks more like mechanical damage.
Affirmative. Something must have repeatedly pounded it with great force. There is some kind of organic sticky substance on the wall.
Acquire a sample, please.
It looks like the sample that we already found. Not exactly the same description, but still pretty similar.
This was once a decontamination control panel.
It looks as if someone tried to find the door override controls, and they were in a great hurry.
I can imagine.
There is some kind of organic sticky substance on the wall.
Acquire a sample, please.
That thing was leaking like crazy. My bet is that this is the same again. Okay, at least the texts are a bit different. The biological structure of the substance is extremely complex and forms a perfectly organized biological structure. Its precise capacity is impossible to determine due to a memory limitation of this analytic station.
Without working electronics, it's impossible for me to open the door. There is something stuck in the opening.
Can you be more specific?
It looks like Yamabushi indestructible paper.
Torn to pieces. How ironic.
There are some markings on the paper. I would suggest not touching them, but I might be able to create a digital version of the markings.
What do you need indestructible paper for?
What could those numbers possibly mean?
I wouldn't want to make a premature conclusion, but I think I know the meaning of this number code.
What makes you think that?
I think that the person who wrote those numbers was in the station corridor, trying very hard to get into the station in time.
And for some reason, he didn't make it. The bloodstains all over the place would support your claim. This is a multi-tool. Someone must have tried using it to break into the station.
How is that possible? And why would they lock them out in the first place?
Just look at the open socket. Someone tried to bypass card security with it. Obviously, that attempt was unsuccessful.
Maybe we can use it ourselves to get inside.
With a monster behind them, I can kind of imagine why they didn't want to let them inside.
Observation. Someone tried to remove the locking mechanism.
It looks like someone was desperately trying to get inside the station. Maybe the door mechanism was broken.
Or maybe they were deliberately locked out.
Observation.
It looks like maybe the door mechanism.
Or maybe...
I wonder what happened in here. Could this be an explosion?
I don't think so. It looks more like mechanical damage.
Affirmative. Something must have repeatedly pounded it with great force.
Did I have that already? Yeah, this has to be read with the semicolon, that is, connect the first one to the first one, then connect it to the third one as well, and the semicolon tells me to go to the next contact. And, okay, third one to the first one.
Perfect, we're in.
Warning. There's something wrong with the air here.
Analyze it for us, please.
We need to be extra cautious because there is a high concentration of nitrogen, which makes this place highly explosive.
Deactivate your fuel engines and switch to the solar energy backup.
That's actually a goof up. What they must mean is that there's a high concentration of oxygen, which makes it highly explosive. If I remember correctly, nitrogen is used as an inert gas during welding because it actually keeps things from oxidizing, which is what happens during an explosion. So yeah, it wouldn't make the station explosive.
Someone has removed the visor, but why?
This looks like a container used for a backup air generating unit.
Affirmative. Further analysis is needed though.
Why would they have to use a backup air generator?
Observation. Every single breathing unit has been removed from the spacesuits.
I wonder if it's somehow connected to the bad air in here. Not again. Is this Xenophon all over again?
I don't think so. What we have found here does not support that theory.
You're right. It looks as though they were defending the station.
The laser gun grip is covered with fingerprints. Correlation of these prints with the internal database reveals a prevailing match with Stefan prints. Laser gun data indicates that this weapon has never been fired.
Standard security measures. We could have our spacesuits scanned for faulty parts in here. I bet it doesn't work anymore.
All the stations seem to have the same layout. This room looks similar to the one on Xenophone, it's just from a different camera perspective.
Estimation. There is nothing else worth your attention. The door is locked.
Someone took a lot of trouble to take out the flooring to get that pipe. But why? Did they need more air in here?
This crowbar has been used to tear up the floor.
Too bad I can take it. Normally in computer games, crowbars are something you should always take with you.
I haven't seen one of these for ages. My father had one and taught me how to solve it pretty quickly.
Oh my goodness, I never got this. Solving a Rubik's Cube.
Judging from here, it looks like sketches for a big antenna.
Confirmation. It looks like a simplified construction plan to build one.
Empty. It was once used to visualize acquired samples, but it's in bad shape now.
Attention. There must have been an explosion in the adjacent room.
I wonder if it's somehow connected to the air composition.
Likely so. We might be able to use this to our advantage.
How so?
It appears to be quite vulnerable. We might find a way to get in.
We'll find a way to get you in there, Mobot.
With the atmosphere being that explosive, we won't be able to torch through the door though.
Just what are you trying to do? Are you going to blow this station up? The air around Mobot is currently highly explosive.
Empty.
Observation. The presumed explosion in the adjacent room has shaken the whole station. This piece probably fell down because of that explosion. Someone tried to manipulate the air circuits in the shaft as well.
Was their supply of breathable air depleted?
It sure looks like it.
Someone has removed all the oxygen tanks from the spacesuits. They must have had a really serious air problem.
Unfortunately, it's broken beyond repair.
It's sad to see how quickly personal belongings can turn to junk without their owners.
That's true enough.
This is locked. I need a code to get in.
Oh, Mobot, you're such an ingenious machine. I never would have come up with that. No hidden cameras.
The level of trust here was significantly higher than on Xenophone.
At least here I guess they could see the thing that was threatening them and killing them.
Wow, it's Clive Christian. Special reserve. I couldn't even afford one bottle.
Do you want me to recover those bottles for you?
Not really. It wouldn't feel right. And besides, there's no one to share it with.
These diagrams represent the central air and electrical circuits.
Look, someone marked all the places where the air pipes were accessible.
What is it with the air? Also, so far, I haven't seen any corpses yet.
Yes, our totally uncomfortable shoes. I wish they at least looked nice. Let's get that card.
Time to read through some more communication. And here she was talking to Stefan Prince. I have a theory, but I don't want to alert anyone just yet. Drop by any time. I still think it's just your nerves. Yeah, it might be possible. Have you seen it? Not really, it was too dark. It's going to eat us all alive. Calm down if anything happens to me. I've made some observations and they're in my locker. The code is 987654, which I'm going to write down now, even though there is a logging function for things like this. Basically, she's just counting backwards. We found his datapad. But we don't have the password yet. Mags, that's Roger Callan. Mags, can I visit you, please? Sure, what's up? I'm feeling very odd. Do you think someone's body can react to infrasound by having visions? You know what? Just get in here and tell me what's wrong. Face to face. Sounds like she was the doctor. Yep. When she was messaging Benjamin Walter. Benjamin, don't forget to come here for your vaccine. Oh, sorry about that. We'll be there in a second. Now that's a good boy. Doesn't look like there are any blueprints among her photos. This looks like something we've already found. Nine, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Oh great, we don't have the password. Oh, it actually works. I'm surprised. Oh, maybe I should insert the hacking card first. Alright, this will be quite a nightmare calming down this sorry bunch. I'm afraid I'm going to run out of tranquilizers soon. On the other hand, Phaedros sounds like a place where nothing can go wrong. we really need it after our visits to Ambrosia and Zenobia. So we see that in the chronology, we are now pretty close to the end. I have a feeling that we're in a perfect place. Nothing to do, no unusual activities, and just a view of an endless calm desert. I bet this will do marvels for their sanity. I am bored though. This place has something to it. I just can't quite figure out what that something is. I might have spoken too soon. Roger came to me this morning, complaining about some weird sounds deep in the night. Me? I haven't heard a thing. Still, it worries me because he was really obsessive about it. The last thing I need is someone going berserk. Thanks goodness for Cassie, even though she's so quiet, almost withdrawn. She doesn't even write in her datapad, but she's always so stable and calm. Sometimes personality is overrated. I gave Roger sedatives. He doesn't seem to be mentally stable, and there are laser guns lying around. I've decided to put him under close medical surveillance. He is probably on the verge of a real mental breakdown. The probe stopped answering. Was that a setup? After he made all the information on the Zenobia expedition classified, I don't trust Locke one bit. He is somehow too shady, and there is more bad news. Unless Benjamin fixes the data channel, we are stuck here. I hope the probe didn't take off without us, but Locke is capable of anything. They showed me the green jelly. I fear we are dealing with something really nasty, something which goes way over our heads. Benjamin told me today that he had no luck restoring communications and doesn't see any solution to this puzzle. What does he need? A walkthrough? It sounds like on Xenophone again, that they cannot communicate with the probe anymore. As if somebody has sabotaged them. Whatever that thing is outside, it's alive, big, and hungry. And we are definitely stuck in here. Did it know that damaging the internal air generators would force us to go outside? I'm scared. Stefan was badly injured. I don't think he's going to make it. It's so weird. It doesn't seem to want to eat us. It just somehow wishes us dead. Territorial issues? We have suffered another massive attack on our station. I don't think we or the station will survive much longer. Stefan gave me the code to his datapad in case we could find something useful there. It's read 91023. I don't think we will need it, though he mentioned some plans for the external air unit. Okay. Freed 91023. I think I found a way. I will try tonight. If this works, we can save ourselves. I guess it didn't work. Right, I had found everything here. Why does it keep on marking this?
This fallen cover supports my theory. There was a small explosion somewhere in the station.
For some reason I only remember finding Roger Callan's datapad. Oh right, I should have tried the keycard.
That looks like a container for a backup air generator. Obviously someone has been trying to interrupt the station power supply.
The ladder once led to the space shuttle. Is it still accessible?
Unfortunately not. The entrance has been blocked by the explosion. I am unable to proceed. The door is locked. The scattered documents are the station's electrical wiring schematic.
And we found our first body.
That body, look at his hands. They're tightly clenched. Do you think he died of asphyxiation, Julia? It looks more like shock. We need to examine the body to find out more.
Observation. He has an ID card in his pocket. I am recovering it now.
This one looks different. What the hell did he see out there?
The posture of the corpse indicates that the cause of death was a heart attack, probably caused by the shock of an extremely disturbing sight. The body was pressed against the window before it collapsed to the ground. The DNA analysis matches Benjamin Walter.
Rotten junk food leftovers.
Freed 91023. Wait. Oh, yeah, it was Stefan's datapad.
More of this stuff. My kingdom for a steak.
These diagrams represent the central air and electrical circuits.
I'm going to write that down next to it now.
Now look at this. It looks like another upgrade.
Let me analyze the schematics. I think that this upgrade enhances Mobot's audio capabilities.
Really? What will he be able to do now?
One part is obviously a much more sensitive microphone, while the rest deals with signal processing.
Useful.
That should be part 1 for Zenobia. Yeah, now if only I had the manual. Okay, I need to replace the air containers, and I remember that the only ones that are plugged in are at the back of the station. So once I'm outside, I will get to that.
Rubbish.
Commentary. The outside view is pretty boring, only tons of sand blown by the wind.
Oh, Mobot, you almost seem romantic.
Clarification. Unlike you, my unit isn't equipped with emotional AI.
I don't know what it is, but I've got a bad feeling about this place.
Are you superstitious, Rachel?
Not a bit. Just something feels so wrong. The environment. Everything. It simply doesn't make sense with what we see in here.
This window has been broken from the outside.
That is interesting, considering the extreme strength of the material.
Right, just a few grains of sand and bam, the window is broken.
Who says it was just sand?
Commentary. The electricity wiring is in very bad condition.
Whatever it was, it shook the station badly.
Food porn.
Observation. The power.
Probably a safety measure.
You didn't expect to find anyone alive in here, did you?
No. It's just, all of them were once alive.
There's nothing you can do about them now, Rachel.
I know.
Have you found anything interesting?
Not really. This corpse is already way beyond recognition.
Normally we can just take a sample and then we find out who it is.
The abandoned surgical room has been kept clean.
The door is broken beyond repair.
Just standard medical junk. These are expired anyway. Just look at this, Julia. The damage to the bones is quite peculiar. Parts are actually missing.
What is your take on it?
If it wasn't utter nonsense, I would think the leg was chewed on.
May I suggest a possible act of cannibalism?
I don't think so. Let's look around some more. An ordinary microscope. It's obvious that the main technology focus was elsewhere. Medical tools are scattered across the floor.
Do you want me to clean up in here?
No, there's no point in that.
Okay, this time. Stefan Prince reporting. I've decided to keep my datapad updated, to keep my thoughts consistent. After what we did on Ambrosia, it's much harder for me to stay focused. We were never really ready for alien contact. We're scientists, not some bloody army bots, yet we all acted like complete idiots. Sounds like he was there on Zenobia when it happened. I wonder if Yamabushi would have rushed this mission if it hadn't been for Jason Quincy Sperber. He must be worth trillions, considering how many Yamabushi projects he has personally backed. I heard he insisted this expedition take off in months, not years. I guess whatever Sperber wants, he gets. What a disaster. Lark decided to split us up and only send the most stable crew members here while he stayed behind to supervise the crew left on the probe. Only 5 of us made the cut. Although I wondered how Cassie was chosen. She rarely speaks to anyone, just focuses on her analyses. The rest are recovering on the probe. Nothing but soothing sand in this endless desert. We've recovered slowly from our stress and are just now starting to scout the surface. Sometimes I think that soon there won't be anything left to explore here on Phaidros. Then I pause and ask, what would Juanita Durkin do? She was my favorite research advisor at the Academy, and she was so enthusiastic about this mission. And she never found a limit to her curiosity and search for the unknown. So I'll keep looking, Juanita. Looks like this place might actually hide a secret. Last night, we heard strange sounds coming from the desert. I immediately contacted the probe to ask if there were any signs of life, but the answer was negative. I wonder if it might be a local acoustic phenomenon. Time to do some science. This is interesting, because on a xenophone, the probe also didn't notify them of the radiation on the planet. So the sabotage started that early. Today the sound is back. Marita swears it must have originated from an organic life form. But all the readings from the probe are negative. Apparently it's just us and the sand. Still, it creeps me out. Roger went berserk. He rushed in from the desert screaming that something tried to eat him alive. He didn't even have a scratch on him. I think this place is messing with our minds, and surely we're all pretty shaken after what happened on Ambrosia. That strange sound returned tonight and seems louder and closer than before. Benjamin found out that the sound always returns at the same time every day. He set up an external microphone and wrote a program which detects sharp amplitude changes. Clever, we can set a trap to see what's behind the scary sound. Something happened tonight. I was woken up by a heavy pounding. It was as if someone hammered nails right into my brain. Everyone was on their feet stumbling around, trying to find out what the heck was going on. Before we were able to get outside, it stopped. Next morning we went outside to find a strange greenish substance all around the station. I've tried to analyze it, but the station was clueless. I wish Rachel was here. She was so good with this kind of stuff. We've tried to send some samples to the probe, but our communication was damaged, probably because of what hit the station last night. Benjamin is trying to find out what is going on. I have a feeling that we should leave this place ASAP. To make things worse, I have a feeling that Roger is slowly going nuts. At least that will be interesting. The pounding returned tonight, and to make matters worse, our main air generator is toast. So, from now on, we have to manually replace the external air unit. Time to retreat, I would say. Though we can't do that, unless the contact with the probe is back online. We also need to take turns replacing the outside containers. I mustn't forget RTLNOG. Oh joy, should we draw straws before we go outside? Writing down RTLNOG.
This might actually be useful. Let's try creating normal air conditions in here.
It got her. Cassie was walking just outside the window with the containers when this thing emerged from the sand and bit her in two. God help us. I can still hear her screams. We are all going to die here. I was ordered to set the correct levels for the air generator. Tricky business, but I figured it out eventually. Important numbers to remember are 20.9% and 1.1%. 20.1% and 1.1%. Of course, it is only air after all. Also, I had to crank up the fans to maximum and to right at the midpoint to expel the bad air inside. I wonder if I have to do that too. Fans to maximum. And then lower. To midpoint. Okay. Today's my container day. Wish me luck. Maybe that's him.
Another container.
So here we have the first footage of Xil. Okay, so what do we have to do?
This slot is to insert the container for the station backup air generator. This slot is... Caution, I am detecting a strange phenomenon.
Just what the hell is that?
I am not sure I want to know. My scanners don't show anything, though.
We'll likely find out very soon.
This slot is to
Oh, yeah. Maybe I should do that first. The container holds the necessary chemicals to synthesize nitrogen. The container holds the necessary chemicals to synthesize a mixture of the lesser gases in breathable air. The container holds the necessary chemicals to synthesize oxygen. So what was the hint? RTL, NOG. Right to left, nitrogen, oxygen gases maybe? I actually don't remember what the solution was for the first time, so let's see. Right to left, nitrogen, oxygen, and gas mixture. Well, is that it? We'll find out in a minute.
I am unable.
Ah, the other corridor. While I'm recording this, it's pretty late, so I'm kind of losing my concentration. Ah, okay, so what was it? 20.1 and 1.1. Oh, this is finicky. If I could enter directly, that would be much easier. did I write it down wrong? And it's... I should check. $20.9. I wrote it down incorrectly. 20.9. Okay, up to max.
It looks like you've nailed it. I'm locking the gas ratio controls.
Now let's wait a little bit for the air to be replaced. That should be enough. Now we need to lower the airflow to exactly 1/2.
You want me to estimate? Okay.
Success. We've been able to restore the air in here.
Finally, we can torch through that door.